Is about strategic planning, and we will discuss today what is auditor consideration of internal audit function. So suppose you are an external auditor and you go to a client, and their client is very sophisticated and he already have internal auditors with him. So it's very likely that we should not do those work which is done by internal auditor, because internal auditor is already doing that job. Their focus is day-to-day operations, efficiency, processing. So we should not repeat the same task, right? And we should see what they are doing, and we should align that if they are doing the right job, we should get the work done through them. This is what he said, and this is we will explain also. Using the work of specialist. See, you are a CPA and you are expert of external auditing, but you are not expert as an engineer, right? So if you go to oil refinery and you want to have a stock valuation, you do need an engineer for that, right? And there are some specialized field where we need extra skills which we cannot acquire, because every time, suppose if I go to a bank, I cannot be a banker. If I go to oil and gas, I cannot be a engineer, right? So every industry requires some technical skills, knowledge and valuation methods. So for that we hire a specialist, right? So how to hire a specialist, what this specialist should sound like, this is what I will explain. And related parties are sister companies. This is an accounting term when you have a same owner and who has 6-7 companies. So we say these are related parties. Now related parties in general is very complex and subject to high risk. How? Suppose there is one owner, what he is doing, he is selling to his company, so he is putting a sale, which is actually not a sale, right? Then what he is doing, he is creating liabilities on one companies, and other companies he is making them brighter. So if he go to loan on other things, so he get it very easily, right? So people play, 90% people play with the related parties, means their own companies, accounting entries, inventory movements, fixed assets. This company asset you book it here, and the other ones. So this is how, for an auditor, it's very important that they should keep an extra care about those transactions which are between related parties or the same companies. Then we have accounting estimates and fair value. So accountants, what they do, they put allowances, right? Allowances, provisions, these are estimations that how many people will not pay doubtful debts, what will be the slow moving stock. These all things are management is going to put an estimation. So we have to test these estimations are okay or they require some corrections. This is also our job. And in the last we'll see consideration of omitted procedures. What are omitted procedures? You as an auditor, you have full authority to exercise what you want based on your judgment, right? There is nothing called a specified way of doing auditing. Suppose if your risk level, as you are assuming, is big, so you can add more work into. If you feel no, it's not required, then you can omit them. This is called omitting. Because if you as an auditor, you feel that there is no need to do this 1, 2, 3 steps, so you can omit them as well, right? This is what he told. So now we will start. First of all, he says that auditor should be independent of the entity. This is we already know, because external auditor should be independent. He should not be an employee. He should come from outside, like you guys are going from Deloitte to your clients, but mainly for internal auditing, right? Or external auditing, both. Okay, that's good. So you are doing, when you go as for internal audit, this is a different thing. Strategic planning means that long-term planning means today we didn't start the audit yet. I mean, this is a partner's job or the audit manager's job. There are of course levels. You are junior auditors, senior auditors, then managers, then there are partners. So when a partner go to a client side, generally they don't go, but if they go, then what they will do, they will try to align, which we say as a bird view, means they will see, okay, how many locations you have. It's like a business analysis. And they can't ask any document at that time because there is no commitment so far. Auditor, suppose tomorrow you start your own, all of you can be auditors. You are graduates and you study audit as a subject, which is a requirement to have an audit license here. So you all can have your audit licenses, and then maybe you start your own office. So you are an auditor, right? Then you will call here and there your friends, your relatives, your circle. You will tell them, look, I opened the audit firm, so I need business, right? So this is what is in the strategic planning phase, where you are, okay, someone will say, yes, you can take my audits. Then your questions will come. You will say, oh yes, how many locations, what branches, turnover, number of transactions. So what you are doing is you are gauging that how many people you need to send from your company, right? 2 will go, 1 will go, 10 will go. There is someone who is analyzing the work scope, the workload, how many man hours, right? Generally you call man hours, right? So, okay, this is prerequisites. Now we'll see that auditor must be independent. This is, we already know that you should be an external auditor. You should not be an employee. You should not have any conflict of interest, and you should be independent. This is already we discussed last lecture, that independence 2 ways: independence in actual and independence in appearance. So you should both be independent. Then it's very important, after SOX came 2002, that you should get an understanding of the internal controls. Previously, before 2002, you issue an audit report, you don't discuss anything about internal controls. But after 2002, we are forced to give one paragraph about the adequacy of internal control system. So here, your role emerge as a internal auditor, right? It means you should have internal auditing skills as well, because otherwise you will not be able to understand internal control systems. Whenever we are going to have an audit, before that we will see the competence. What is competence? Competence is, so far there is nothing like that you are CPA, then you are a competent person. There is nothing like this. AICPA says that you are a competent person if you have a required knowledge, skills, ability and experience to do any task. So they consider you as competent. Now suppose we are going to make a team for audit for oil company, right? So my preference, if I am a planner of the audit, so I will see in my whole team who is the one who has already done the audits for the oil company, right? Then I will see, sometimes you see engineer plus CPA, right? There is a trend growing now, pharmacist, CIA, right? So this is growing trend, because I am teaching, so I know that there are engineers, they are studying accounting, there are doctors, they are studying internal auditing, there are some people, they are doing CMA, they are learning management, So that's the kind of mix I need here, right? Then some people are generically very active in audits, in IT audits. When they see computer, Excel, they are more expert than the others. So I will see that there should be an IT based guy in the team. So any kind of sorting, filtering of data, reporting, that will be a good skill to add into, right? So this is how we make a team.